In the name of Allah, the Compassionate, the Merciful. Uh, Today I want to talk about the structure of a proposal. Um, mm, I've already talked about what is the structure of a proposal and what are the different sections of a proposal. I've said that it consists of at least three main sections of introduction, review of literature and methodology, and there are some sub uh, sections in each category or in each chapter. But now I want to look at it from different angle with talking about the components of proposal, its function and characteristics of proposal. Let's look at it. A proposal is likely to contain most of the elements listed in the table below, although your supervisor may require the inclusion or omission of some parts. You know, I said that basically there are, it consists of those three sections and those subsections mentioned before, but um, some supervisors or some institutes or universities, have got different formats. Uh, it depends on that institution or university where you're studying or working. Check first with your supervisor. All right, let's look at the component, function, and characteristics. Uh, the first part is the cover page. Cover page, or sometimes it is called the front page or front pages of the proposal. In the cover page, you see some, sections including the topic, the writers, the institution or university, and the degree, and sometimes the date. Uh, so it identifies topic, writer, institution, and degree. What are the characteristics of the cover page? Proposed thesis title should be descriptive of focus, concise, eye-catching, and preferably use keywords from the International Information Retrieval System. So as you see, the title of your proposal, which would be later on the title of your thesis, should be descriptive of focus. Focus means what are you going to focus on, or what is the main issue you are focusing, or depending on or describe, you're going to focus on in your proposal. And it should be concise. It should not be too long, or too short. It should describe the variables that you're using. At the same time, it should be, eye-catching and interesting to the readers, including the main variables and the main key terms you're going to use. Apart from that, in the cover page, you can see the writer's name and qualifications. For example, you write your name, written by or by, and then you write your affiliations, in which department and university you're working or you're studying. Also, you should mention the department, university, and degree proposal is for, right? I told you that, for example, you write English Language Department, Imam Azhar International University, and the degree. This is a proposal submitted to the English Language Department of this university for partial fulfillment of the requirements, right? For the partial fulfillment of the requirements of master's degree or MA degree. After that, we get to the table of contents. Uh, uh, I told you that there are some differences between this format and the other formats that you have probably seen. And in our university, we do not ask the students to write a table of contents because we normally say that the table of contents would be written completely and fully when the thesis has been finished. You just need to include the front page and then get to the first chapter, which is introduction. There is not it is not necessary also to include an abstract, because abstract is the abstract of the whole research. And by the time you have written your proposal, your research has not been carried out. So you have not finished the research, therefore you are not allowed to include the abstract in your proposal. The abstract is as I told you, is the gist of what you have totally done in that study, including the results, the findings, the discussions, the implications of the study, and so on and so forth. So in the table of contents, based on this format, you list sections of proposal and page references. This is something that you have probably seen in different, journals, books, even books or thesis. Here it says that it can be included, but as I told you, it's not necessary to include this section in your proposal. And use a hierarchy for titles and subtitles. There should be some titles and some subtitles, like outlining, right? For example, in different levels. You write, for example, one introduction, and then in the introduction you write 1.1 statement of the problem, 1.2 significance of the study, 1.3, for example, is the research question, 1.4 research hypothesis, then 1.5 can be definition of the key terms, 1.6 can be limitation of the study, then you get to 2 literature review. Then if you have got some subtitles in chapter 2 or part 2, you write the subtitles for part 2 as well. All right, then we get, after the table of contents, we get to the background and a more descriptive name, right? We get to the introduction or background. In the background, you have to provide background information relating to the social, political, historical, educational context of the study, right? Whatever is related to your study, you should talk about the background of those issues. And most importantly, you have to talk the educational context, because your field of study is English language teaching. Therefore, you have to talk about the teaching points of those variables which are related to the educational context of that study, which can be in Iraq, in Iran, in the other countries, or at the level of university, at the level of institutes or schools, private schools, private sector, public sector, or state universities, non-for-profit universities, and the other issues. So you have to provide background information relating to those issues which are generally related to your main variables. So in the background, the characteristics of the background include historical, cultural, political, social, and organizational information about the context of the research, right? By historical, it means that you have historically, you have to talk about the background of those variables, and also you should actually present some main researches done in that field. You will give a full details of the previous related studies in that field in the literature review, but in the background of the study, it's necessary to talk about the historical, cultural, and political aspects of those variables as well. Then it can also include a theoretical starting point. The concept, the main concepts you're going to use should be stated clearly in the background of your study. What kind of theories have you been working on, or what kind of theories which are related to your study are going to be used? You should give a brief report of those theories or theoretical points that you've studied in previous in the other books or related studies, and presented in the background of the study. In the background also, it includes personal motivation. What was your personal motivation as a researcher to do this study. Very briefly, you have to state the purpose of the study as well, right? What was your motives, right? What forced you to do this study or research? Much include policy. It may include policy. You may also talk about the policy of that field of study. It can be the educational policy relating to that topic, so you should state those educational policies relating to those variables that you're going to mention. And this may include references to a gap in the literature review. Uh, I said that we have got a section which is called statement of the problem. Therefore, this statement of the problem is one of those subsections of the background of the study. Therefore, in the background, you have to say the gap in the research literature to the need to apply certain ideas in a new context or to the significance of your particular topic. Yes? So you should say what forced you to do this study, what were actually the gaps or the problems that you have faced in your field of study that forced you to do this research. What are is there any scarcity of research in this field? You have to state it in the gap or statement of the problem. Apart from that, the significance of your particular topic should be stated in this section. We have got some other some subsection which is called the significance of your study. This is a subsection in the background of the study as well. So need for the study, usually this is combined with the previous sections, follows from background to persuade the reader that the study will be useful and interesting, right? In the background, you are going to persuade the reader that the study will be useful and interesting. So background can be the front window of your research. Therefore, it's very important how you present it, how you motivate the readers to continue reading your research or reading your paper. Okay, so it is the persuasion of the reader, a section that you persuade the reader of the study. And in the background also, the ways in which the study may be significant for the educational community may also be discussed. I said that this section is presented under the subcategory of significance of the study. The purpose is expressed in terms of the broader context of the study. At the end of the background of the study, which will last for about 2 or 3 pages, and then you get to the statement of the problem. At the end of the background, it's better to, the main background, I mean, it's better to include a paragraph about the purpose of this study. What would be the what is the purpose, or what are the purpose of this study that forced the researcher to do a research on? It should be completely related to the topic of the study, and the main variables should be stated here, and their connection also should be presented, whether they are going to affect on each other, or we want to see or find the relationship and the like. Purpose and aims of the study. This is a section that in some proposals come under a separate category. In some proposal formats, in some other universities, they present it in a separate section which is called the purpose or aim of the study, or sometimes they call it the objectives of the study. But according to our classification, we do not have a separate section. As I told you, we presented one brief presentation would be at the end of the background, and we can present it at the end of the significance of the study as well. So we can say significance and purpose of the study together. So to outline the key research questions and aims should be presented in the purpose of the study. The research questions, usually what, how, why, what if, should be few so that the focus is manageable.